There's a fine line that you're going to have to walk if you want to have video on your site. You want the video to be small enough to where even the folks with the modest internet connection, DSL connection, can still stream your video without it chopping up. Now, this screencast will kind of cover if you have a video starting automatically. For example, in this site, this is the first thing you see when you go to this site. So because this is the first thing you see, you want to make sure that the video can stream properly. Now the golden rule limit that we've kind of figured out is between 10 and 12 megabytes. That should pretty much stream for those folks even on a DSL line. But folks with a dial-up, believe it or not, there are still people who are still using dial-up. 10% of Americans are still using dial-up internet connection. Hopefully none of your market is using dial-up. But if it is, you kind of want to make sure you can get it as low as you can while still maintaining that quality. What most people do is they'll just hike these settings up until it looks good, and then you result in, a 30 megabit video. And when you're trying to download that right off the bat, it looks like DJ Skip remixed it. It's all chopping and stuff. So you want to make sure it's down low. Now, in order to do that, you'll probably start off with a .mov file or a H.264 file or an F4V file or even an AVI file you can compress down to within 10 megabytes. Now there are a couple sizes that that you would choose here, and those sizes are going to depend on what your aspect ratio is for the video that you're converting. Now there are several programs that can do this for you. The one we recommend the most is actually a PC program called Super. And Super pretty much does, in our opinion, the best job at compressing these videos down to a small enough size that can be streamed without sacrificing that quality. There are several other programs that kind of do the same thing, and you'll kind of have to test them, but we've tested quite a few and found Super to still be the best. And you can actually download Super by going to ewritesoft.com /superdc.html. It's right up here in the address bar. But you go ahead and write that down. And if you scroll to the, actually you don't have to scroll on this page. Right here, it'll be download and use, and you'll be able to download that. Now we would run Super normally on this tutorial, but we're on a 64-bit machine, and Super is not compatible with the 64-bit machine. What we can do is tell you the exact settings that you're going to have to use. Now, right when you drag and drop this, your FLV file or your .movie file into Super, once you open up Super, you're going to drag that in. You can actually double click it, and it'll come up with the the source video's aspect ratio. The aspect ratio you're really going to have to know in order to convert it down to the proper size. If it's going to be 4:3 or 16:9, you're definitely going to have to know that when you convert these things down. So another tool that you're going to use, once you have that in there, and you're going to go through and change the size of the video, the bit rate, the audio bit rate, and you'll see all these settings in Super, and you'll be able to record this tutorial back. But when you open up Super, you'll have to choose the size of the video, the frame rate of the video, the bit rate of the audio, and the audio bit rate itself, measured in kilobits per second, and the sampling rate. And those things you'll have to choose when you open up Super. So when you open up Super, you want to also open up this other window. You can go to adobe.com/devnet/flash/FLV_bitrate_calculator/ and this is a really handy utility that will actually calculate out the specific settings for your video. And it's actually an equation. It's actually a mathematical problem depending on your height, your width, your frame rate, your motion, all that's going to go in to determine what that bitrate setting is. And that bitrate setting on Super is going to determine how big your video basically is. So for example, we have this AVI, actually this was a QuickTime movie, and we went ahead and converted it down. And this is a 16:9 ratio, and that golden rule limit is you want to stay at 640. Now we do have another one that's converted at 720, but the or 760, excuse me, but the one that's 760 measures out to about 15 megabytes in size, and the one that's 640 measures out to about 12 megabytes in size. And we want to save that extra megabytes for our visitors there. Both videos are the same exact quality, just one's a little bit larger than the other one. So we opted for the smaller one there. So if you open this back up, you find out that your aspect ratio is 16:9. You're going to want to punch in 640. And this grid quality, if you hit this window here, it's going to open up this other window and it'll tell you the exact settings that are best. 16:9, we're actually going at the better because 768 is just a little bit too big. That resulted in about an 18 megabit video. So 640 by 360 is really best for 16:9, and 640 by 4080 is best for 4:3. So the only difference between 4:3 and 16:9 is that height. The height on 16:9 is going to be 360, and height on 4:3 is going to be 480. More kind of a square dimension there. So you have this in there, frame rate 29.97. If you have somebody just talking, it would be slow, but if you have an actual promo video that's actual fast, you put it on fast. You could choose stereo or mono. We usually will choose stereo at usually a higher frequency rate or sampling rate there, and we usually click on medium. And it even gives you some additional settings here so you can kind of tweak this out. So you'll choose action trailer if it's fast paced. This is just we'll choose not available for this. 8 to 9 you should be targeting. Here in the next year you'll probably start choosing 9 and up. And HTTP, you can just go ahead and leave that there. And these are the quality settings. So in Super you would choose the width, the height, the rate, the video kilobits per second. 1841 is usually that best, is the best setting for this size video. And your stereo, quality medium, sampling rate 44 kilohertz, and which gives you 160 audio kilobit per second. It'll even tell you here recommended connection speed. So this is a 2.4 megabit line. So that is right at the very minimum. And that's why we figured out that 640 is usually best. Now all this information will be in a notepad file that will be inside of this tutorial when you download it. It'll also include all this information that we have on another blog post from our parent company, Spilled Milk Designs. And it'll give you links here to all these programs. Online services actually convert them for you, and actually give a rundown on everything in here. And it'll give you these perfect settings here that you should probably abide by. Now these are only if you have videos starting off automatically when you go to somebody's site. Now you can absolutely, if you have one playing inside of a page somewhere, you would definitely use this video player that they have here. And it should be here. So you would just double click that and add it to the page. Drag and drop your video right in there. You can mess with these size dimensions and you're set. I think this is actually how we have this one set up. Nope. This video, you can just add it straight to the page, and Showit will know that it's a FLV video, and it'll give you some kind of video options automatically at the end. And this could be set to Me 0, which is telling this when it's done viewing. When it's done playing, it'll automatically skip to this page. So it's kind of definitely a cool addition there. But you'll definitely want to make sure that your things are running smoothly. You want to bring it down to as small as you can get it without sacrificing that quality. So download Super, use Super. Be sure to bookmark these pages right here, this Adobe bitrate calculator, because you use this often. And if you take these additional measures to make sure that your video is optimized, then you won't have a problem at all for your visitors. For more tutorials, check out learnshowit.com, HT quality tutorials for Showit.